Hey everybody, it's Mr. Lambert from deep inside the quarantine zone coming at you live with today's math lesson. Today, multiplication. Yeah, multiplication, old school, right? You know this. Multiplication, or as many of you like to call it, say it with me, repeated addition. You got it. Repeated addition. We call it repeated addition because actually all we're doing when we're multiplying is we're taking a number and we're adding it to itself a bunch of times. So like if we were to do 3 times 5. 3 and 5 are both known as factors. Ladies and gents, I'm going to want you to write that down in your journals here in just a moment. You're going to need to have a journal, a 3-ring binder, and you're going to need to do it and take the vocab words and write them down on a spot in your journal, and I'm going to show you how to flesh those words out in just a moment. So the first word you're going to need to know is factor. Ladies and gents, any of the 2 numbers or 3 numbers or 12 numbers in a multiplication problem, if we're multiplying a number by another number, these numbers are called factors. The answer we get is called the product. It's another word you're going to need to know. So ladies and gents, if our factors are 3 and 5, we are actually doing 3 5 times, or you can think of it as 5 3 times, and our answer is going to be 15. Now, I didn't do the repeated addition in my head. I just know it. That's the whole important part about multiplication. It allows us to do these big groups of addition without taking the time to do the repeated addition. That's why you gotta start learning those products. You gotta know your factors of each number. If you don't though, to prove that it works out, here we go. Got 3 5 times, right? So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. 3 plus 3 is gonna give me 6 plus 3 more would give me 9, plus 3 more, 10, 11, 12, 3 more, 13, 14, 15. It's the same. So ladies and gents, multiplication just repeating the addition. The reason that we don't want you to use repeated addition past, well, really 3rd grade, but as we've gone into 5th and 6th grade, is that takes way too long. You just gotta know those facts. So ladies and gents, again, the first 2 parts, the 2 parts of the problem that we're multiplying together, the 2 numbers, those are factors. Ladies and gents, the answer is called the product. Again, I'm gonna go with you in just a few minutes and write those down, show you how I want you to set those up in your folder. All right, next, what happens if I have more than 2 numbers that I'm multiplying together, or what happens if my numbers are bigger than 1 digit by 1 digit? Well, we got a process for that too. Ladies and gents, let's try 15 times 3 now. Looks similar to the other one, but I've got a 1 in front of my 5. Ladies and gents, it's not that big a deal. We'll talk about why here in a second. Now, we knew 5 times 3, or 3 times 5 was 15, right? I'm gonna drop my 5 here. Now, just like I would be doing if I were adding up larger numbers, I'm gonna take the number from this column, well, my 10 basically, from my 15, I'm gonna pop them over here on top of this 1. I'm gonna put a 1 there. Just like you were doing if you were doing addition. We're just gonna do the same type of multiplication, and I'll show you why here in a second. 3 times 1 is 3, plus another 1 gives me 4. Ladies and gents, I happen to know 3 times 15 is indeed 45, but here's why this works. My 5 times 3 was 15, right? We can rewrite it this way. This guy was 15, but ladies and gents, this isn't a 1. No. It's a 1 holding the spot of 1 in the tens place, which means I've got 1 10, which means it's actually a 10. 10 3 times, 10, 20, 30, right? If I do it that way, I'm gonna get 45 again. That's why this works. But follow the method like we did before. If you can learn to write it out this way and keep track of your numbers that you're carrying over, your tens that you're carrying over into the next digit, the next column. If you can do that, it's gonna be much faster, keep your paper much nicer and neater. So ladies and gents, that's the process by which we do multi-digit multiplication. The only other thing you gotta remember is how to work the same problem if, well, now we're getting really difficult. If I were to happen to throw another number on the bottom. Now we're getting kind of complicated. We can't just go straight across like we did last time. This is where some of us had problems last year. So I'm gonna walk this through with you again as a reminder. Ladies and gents, your 3 times 5, you're gonna do the exact same way we've done it the last 2 times. 3 times 5 is, of course, 15. You gotta remember those. You can do the repeated addition if you need to, but we can only do it for the next couple weeks because we gotta get moving into some bigger things. Carry my 1 over just like I did before. I'm still gonna work this guy and work him all the way across before I even deal with this other digit. I'm kind of pretending like he's not even there at the moment. So 3 times 1 again is 3, and then plus 1 would give me 4. Ladies and gents, guess what? I'm done with this guy. Finished. Now, I've still got a 2 here. The 2 I'm gonna have to treat, well, like any other number. But we also have to remember that's not just the 2 hanging out, that is actually a 2 in the 10 spot. That means this is 20. How are we gonna multiply by 20? Well, here's the trick. Anytime we multiply by a power of 10, we can treat it like a 1 as long as we deal with the zeros after the fact. So when we do multiplication, because we know it's gonna be in the 10 spot, all we're gonna do, before we start our problem this time, we're gonna drop a 0 right underneath our 1s column. Why? Because, well, 20 doesn't have any 1s, it's all 10s and higher. So we're just gonna worry about 10s in this case. Dropping a 0 in my 1s column because I'm dealing with 10s. 2 times 5, 10. Carry my 1 over. 2 times 1 is 2. Add 1 more to it, 3. Ladies and gents, then all we have to do is add these straight down. 5 plus nothing, 5. 4 plus nothing, 4. The 3 stands alone by himself. Ladies and gents, your answer is 345. It's that easy. So just remember, you're just repeating the addition, but we gotta know those facts in our heads. If you need to use a times table at this point to get through this faster, that's cool, but I wanna make sure, and I'm gonna have to see it on your paper when you turn this in today, we need to see each of the different steps as you're moving through. You're gonna deal with your 1s, you're gonna go up, deal with the 1s place, times 1s, 1s times 10. If you have the 10s, leave that. And then when you get to your 10 spot, well, it's cool. You're gonna deal with it just like you did the other. Just remember to drop 1 0. If I were to have 3 numbers on the bottom, ladies and gents, all I gotta remember to do is add another 0 after the next digit. So my next digit down, if I had another row underneath, because there was another number right here, it would be in the 100 spot. So I'd add 2 zeros because 100 has 2 zeros at the end. All right, that's all we gotta do. This is it. I'm gonna go through in just a moment the next video beneath. If you click on that, I'm going to go through and walk you through some guided practice so you can try a couple problems with me on paper. And then I've got some stuff right underneath that. You're going to click on the links there and go through and do each of those assignments. Those are going to give you a chance to practice and let me see what you know without my help. All right, I'm going to give you guys feedback, but make sure you get this done today. Again, drop it in before Friday because that's the due date. All right, I'll see you guys in the link below.